Global happenings today. We communicate. We analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, great people. Welcome back to our channel. IBB came out a few days ago to tell Nigerians how his journey as a military administrator or military president was. For some people, it was just a laugh over, but for some, it was a time of remembering the pains and the agony they went through. It became more real to them than what we saw on the pages of the about 400 and something pages of his book. And interestingly, one of Nigeria's foremost human rights activists, a lawyer, senior advocate of Nigeria, has decided to take IBB by storm. And this time around, it's going to be straight to the court. Let's look at full details of what renowned human rights lawyer Falana, senior advocate of Nigeria, had to tell Nigerians about his next move against Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, the man behind the book, Journey to Service. And according to the news, renowned human rights lawyer Falana, senior advocate of Nigeria, has announced his decision to legally challenge what he described as his malicious detention and prosecution under the regime of former military president Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. It's been reported that Falana's decision comes in response to a revelation in IBB's recently launched book, where the former military leader addressed the controversial annulment of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, widely regarded as Nigeria's most credible election. Speaking on an interview, Falana recounted how IBB ordered his arrest and detention alongside the late Chief Gani Fawomi, Dr. Beko Ransom Kuti, and other pro-democracy campaigners. The group was charged with unlawful assembly and sedition for opposing the annulment. Falana recalled that on June 26, 1993, IBB defended the annulment, citing alleged electoral malpractices despite overwhelming evidence that the election was free and fair. He noted that IBB personally signed the decree nullifying the election and dissolving the Presidential Election Tribunal led by Justice Bola Babalakin. According to him, I'm going to quote his word, he said, "Now, he wants to give the impression that some forces without his knowledge annulled the election, but Babangida himself exercised that power against the interests of Nigerians." Following the annulment, the Campaign for Democracy spearheaded nationwide protests, prompting IBB to order the arrest of pro-democracy activists, including Fawomi, Ransom Kuti, and Falana himself. Falana went further to open up. He said, "We were paraded before a chief magistrate court in Wuse, Abuja for sedition simply because we had published the election results. Denied bail, Falana and his colleagues were remanded in Kuje prison under the infamous decree number 2. His words again, he said, "The junta foolishly thought jailing us would stop the protest, but they miscalculated." Falana emphasized that 32 years after the annulment, Babangida now expressed regret over his action. In his word, he says, "He deliberately arrested, detained, and paraded me as a criminal, only to say now, we regret what we did. That means he knew all along that our prosecution was unjust." Now, with IBB openly admitting that MKO Abiola won the election, Falana insists that his detention and prosecution were unlawful, violating his fundamental human right. In his word, he says, "I have assembled a team of lawyers, and we are taking legal action. IBB's admission proves that our detention was not only malicious, but an abuse of power. It violated our right to liberty, freedom of movement, and democratic process." When asked if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should officially recognize MKO Abiola as a former president, Falana dismissed the idea as unnecessary. He says, "Since 1993, Abiola has been recognized by the Nigerian people as an elected president. These same people who try to set the clock back are only acknowledging it now." He also criticized IBB plan to establish a presidential library, arguing that only elected leaders have the legitimacy to do so. In his word, he said, "No former military head of state has ever set up a presidential library. What do you want to read there? A president is elected by the people, a military dictator is not." With IBB now admitting fault, Falana insists that justice must be served, vowing to pursue legal action to challenge his wrongful prosecution, no matter how long it will take him or no matter how long it will be. That was the position of Falana. Several other Nigerians across the board has shared the same opinion. Shockingly, even the children or the grandchildren of Abacha themselves are very uncomfortable with what IBB rolled out in his book as, the duties that Abacha performed, which for him, most decisions he made was traceable to the pressure from Abacha. Some other stakeholders feel that he should be dealt with. The likes of Sowore says that his presidential library should be considered a hall of shame. So many people have spoken, but Falana is the first in the list to hit the court, or who is intending to hit the court to address issues that had to do with that book. My colleagues in the house, what's the standpoint on all of this?
Well, I guess IBB did not see this coming. He felt maybe at some point he had a heavy heart and he wanted to clear the air, clear his heart. He's quite an old man anyway, so at this point one would say he that is down in fear no fall. He's already old. He needed to clear his chest and let Nigerians know the true picture of what history was like, even though it looks as if it's a bit distorted now. But then again, we Nigerians, we've been known over the years as people who are docile. We take things for levity. We always have this very funny inclination of our life where we begin to say, well, the deed has been done. Is there any need to change the narrative? Yes, there is need to change the narrative so that we do not get to see people also trying to act out this narrative again in the future. Falana doing what he knows best. He's a senior advocate of Nigeria's son, and being that he played the role, one of the roles, which was, to say the truth the way it was, and he was punished for saying the truth in the past, and now IBB is now saying that actually that truth you said was actually the truth. It's very commonsensical for him to act for a redress in court. Mm-hmm. But then this is probably going to be the first time ever in the history of Nigeria where a former military president, whether democratic or military, will be dragged to court. Mm-hmm. And if you ask me personally, I think it's a good sign. It's a good sign that Nigerians are waking up to their rights as humans, rights as citizens. For over time, it has never been like this. So I feel that it's a good sign in the right direction.
All right, I want to ask this last question. Do you think that the legal move by Falana will restrict others who have also wanted to aid their views or maybe empty their chest with the legal issue coming up? Do you think that they will have to carry it to the grave?
Don't forget that the IBB we are talking about no longer doesn't hold much influence anymore in political circles in Nigeria right now. So for those who want to air their views, I feel that they still see Nigerians in the light of, they really won't react much. And let's tell ourselves the truth. If IBB is in the good books of the powers that be, it's going to just be doing the things, just acting it out just for acting's sake. But the truth is, for the now, our leaders don't really take Nigerians that seriously to be scared, not to mention what they feel they should mention. Mm-hmm. We've seen them play it all out in front of us in many issues, and they were not scared. They just did it because they know Nigerians will never react. I still feel that at this point, except we see true punitive measures being meted, it's just business as usual.
All right. Falana said he's going to go after him legally, no matter how long the case would take. Let's watch to see the next move. That's what we'd like to leave.